I was diagnosed with cancer, and I wanted to come up with my producer name as I'm going through chemotherapy.
Wow.
And so I looked down, yeah, and I had needles in my arms. That's how I got the name.
I'm so efficient, all I need is a whip. I'm going in, I'm going in, I'm going in, I'm going in.
Producing allowed me to be me as far as my personality. I can work. I don't care for the spotlight. I'm in it to be creative and to inspire people. I have to be the one inspiring people and doing stuff that makes me happy instead of waiting for somebody else to inspire me. The people that win, and you really have to love what you do, and you always want to push the genre or whatever you're trying to do forward.
ATL, we are home. This is Bravo Ocean. Shout out to my man Nick for giving me the space for another episode of BackTrak with my man Needlz. You're gonna find out why he's the most decorated in the game. Make sure you go to shop tomorrow, get all the new gear, and make sure you like and subscribe and hit that ping button so we get right. You heard me? Most decorated motherfuckers you can see in the game. More hits than you know. More nominations that you know. Needlz.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
How are you?
Finally got to sit with my man. We known each other for a minute, and we crossed paths. What was it, at the Hit Factory? What was the name of that spot?
Artist Factory.
Artist Factory.
Man.
Okay.
That's a throwback.
All right, so you, Isaac Hayes,
Yeah.
Larry Daniels over there for a little bit.
Yep.
Orlando McGee was over there.
Yep.
A lot of history over there. Tell the people who you are.
My name is Needlz, producer from Lansing, Michigan. Produced for Bruno Mars, Drake.
See what I'm saying? The most decorated. First, start over. Who?
Bruno,
Okay.
Cardi,
Okay.
Drake, Wayne, a little bit of everybody, man. Jeremiah, 50. Been doing this for 20 years, so.
And you've been in Lansing before you went to college?
So yeah, I was born in Michigan, born in Lansing, Michigan. Went to FAM for undergrad.
Yep.
Finished at Florida State, and then went to NYU for grad school.
Grad school.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started out kind of the same. I know you probably don't know this, but you were also a DJ starting out.
Yes.
Went to a HBCU.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I went to Clark, went to A&M. Tell us a little bit more about Michigan, the start of Michigan. I know that when I get into these conversations, the first thing I do is try to backtrack into the space where, how did your parents groom you?
Yeah.
Where did the musical influence come from? Did you have musical talent in your family?
Yeah.
Was there a cousin? I know a lot of people come in and say, "Yeah, my boy just gave me a beat machine. I just started working."
Yeah.
What was the influence like in Lansing and being from Detroit, which was one of the best cities you could be from with Motown? And
Fact. So I'm from Lansing, which is, obviously in the Midwest. And, in the Midwest, we listen to everything. We listen to West Coast. We listen to, at the time it was, Luke, and it was E40. It was just, we were just listening to everything. We also listen to a lot of house music.
Yep. Different type of house music.
Yeah. There's different types. It was cool. Like it was, for me, it was the best case scenario. It was also a college town. You had Michigan State there. They had a radio station that was one of the top, stations as far as breaking like hip hop and stuff. So like in my household, it was, my father, but first of all, both my parents are educators.
Nice.
And, superintendents and that type of stuff. But my father was like a avid jazz and blues audiophile. So if you go down my basement, it's like thousands of records all organized. And,
wow.
I got two other brothers where for some reason my pops always called me downstairs to help him move stuff, and you know what I'm saying, move the speakers. Yeah. He's like, yo, move the speaker just a little bit, and so. But it wasn't like forced on us. Music wasn't forced. It was just always around the house. Just jazz, blues playing, and then I saw. What's crazy is I feel like a lot of people saw Juice, the movie Juice, and that kind of inspired me to be like Q, the main character or whatever at the time. You know what I'm saying? I know.
A lot of people that start out DJs said that Q kind of influenced them.
Yeah. So that after that I went and told my pops, I was like, I wanna start DJing. He was like, get straight A's for a couple, you know what I'm saying, for a couple semesters. I got the straight A's, and he bought me some turntables, and that's how I really got into it, selling mixtapes.
I mean, I was bad in school. I ain't gonna lie. This is the first time I'm shooting today with you, and I brought, my OG, my mom with me.
Yeah.
It's come to Cannon work day.
That's
And she probably can attest to this. I mean, you know, some people will call me a prodigy. I started very early with a turntable at 3 years old.
Oh, that's
doing
fire.
my first gigs at 5 years old DJing. But then, you know, I got into the part of lying to her until I was doing good in school so I can get my first turntables and mixer.
Yeah.
And I think I was at 11 years old, and sometimes when I hear people talk about the actual juice thing, I get a little jealous because I'm like, bro, I was doing it before. I didn't even get a chance to actually enjoy that because I was already doing what Q was doing.
Jeez.
By the time he was learning to scratch, I was learning to scratch.
Dang.
He was actually stealing records from the store.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
And I was like, close to stealing records from the store, you know what I'm saying? So I was almost parallel to it. I know DJ Drama was talking about it as well. Like a lot of guys started there. But I want to talk about the DJ influence and how you make the transition to producer. A lot of people don't know how to make the transition to producer because they get stuck into a high-paying gig at DJing. Yeah. And then they look up and it's like, bro, I'm too old to be a producer, or I just didn't have the love for it. Yeah. Was that a natural transition for you?
Yeah, well, you know, I DJ'd in high school, you know, sold mixtapes and stuff like that, that type of thing. Yeah. And then I had kind of a culture shock. I went to FAM, which was coming from Michigan to Tallahassee was like total different music. You know, I had to soak it in, and it took a while. Like they're all very like on the mic, you know, the whole time. You know what I'm saying? That whole type of thing. So, well, first of all, like I said, my parents are educators. Everything was surrounded about my grade. So they wouldn't let me take my equipment until the second semester once I got a 3 whatever. Wow. As soon as I got my grades, whatever, they let me start DJing. I won some kind of battle down there. You know, it was cool, but it wasn't like how it is today where cats are making, you know, tens of thousands of dollars. Like I was making 150, 200 bucks. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't to me, I didn't see a path forward. I knew I wanted to do music. I knew I had the love for it, but I couldn't see myself supporting a family and stuff by DJing every night at the time. So my goal at the time was to get out of Florida in general, go to New York and kind of like learn more about the industry at a school that actually had a curriculum for it. And at the time, NYU was one of the few schools, because now there's like hundreds of music schools, but back then there was only a few. And for me, it was New York. I played ball. I got recruited by them. It was like D3 or whatever. So that's how I found out about their program. And so for me, it was just like, yo, I don't see a path. Really what happened though, this really changed my perspective on it. I was at a step show in Orlando, and this guy, you know, I mean, it was packed auditorium, whatever. This guy came in, he was escorted by like 3 girls, walked in, they'd make this big fiasco around the guy. His little DJ setup was just perfect. He had his name in the front and all this stuff. And it was a show. You know what I'm saying? It was like a whole spectacle. Come to find out, it was fucking DJ Khaled. Wow. Back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Early DJ Khaled. So he was doing that stuff and really taking it to a whole nother level way back.
From New Orleans,
Florida. From back then. So it was like, I don't know if this is it's my personality, you know what I'm saying? So I like the fact that producers are kind of like behind the scenes, still are able to be creative. And so yeah, man, I sold my turntables and bought an MPC and just kind of, it was just a hobby.
Which one? 2000?
2000.
Okay.
2000 XL. It was an XL, yeah. And so, yeah, man, I remember I was working at a car dealership. I had the little MP brochure up, and I was just like, I'm saving for this, you know what I mean? I'm saving for this MP. Yeah, it was literally just a hobby, bro. It was just a hobby at the time. And what ended up happening was at NYU, a part of the curriculum is you have to have an internship. And so I interned for Bad Boy, and a part of the company that managed the Hitmen. So it was like Janice Combs.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I got a chance to hear all the Hitmen stuff. I was organizing their CDs. So it was like Mario Winans, Bink, who was on here earlier, D-Dot, all the legends, man. And so they kind of asked me, yo, what do you do on the side? I was like, I just started making beats or whatever. They're like, let me hear them. And they
That's always the question.
yeah, let me hear him. And they messed with him. And then one thing led to another, and then they started putting my music in with the Hitmen.
That's fire.
Yeah, as they were sending stuff out for all these different projects, they would sneak my stuff in.
Damn, you was part of the Hitmen.
Yeah, I was low-key part of the Hitmen. And my stuff made it to Def Jam and kept asking for me and my music. And the A&R name was Philan Knight. This is our first manager. She managed Method Man, Redman, DMX. Not managed, but was an A&R. And so she ended up, managing me, and that's how my career really, really kind of took off.
Wow. So I'm going to backtrack.
Yeah.
We're going to get more into that.
Yeah.
So I had a culture shock being from Philly coming to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, I want to tell you about A&M first.
Yeah.
I went down there in the same music business class that you were talking about. When I got there, we were in the textbooks for the raid.
Yeah.
It was like surprising to me because one chapter over was Tupac. And I'm like, it's no way he got us next to Tupac.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But the music business is big. I wanted to speak on that.
Yeah.
The culture, the shock from me coming from Philadelphia to Atlanta. First of all I wanted to do was come to Atlanta and go to Freaknik.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Freaknik won, and then I wanted to hear booty shake music because I wanted to try to figure out what was that sound.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I came down, it was Master P and Pastor Troy.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like confused at first because people were hanging out the cars. I always tell the story, they're hanging out the cars and looking, and I'm from Philly. Like when you say what's up, we like, what you mean?
Yeah, like what's up?
You know what I'm saying? So it was a culture shock. You went to Detroit for parties, right? And you were,
yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Okay. So you seen the fur coats.
Yeah.
The Cartiers.
Yeah.
Gators. You seen the different cars. Tell me what's different between that and when you first arrived to Florida, and what was there a culture shock like I had one?
Yeah.
Was it booty shake there? Or was you deep diving into Master P there too? Or
nah, it was like Let Me See You Squirrel, and it was still a little bit of Luke. It was Trick Daddy was big. But then there was a lot of one-offs too, like, cats that you wouldn't have one song. But it was a whole culture. It's the gold teeth. It's the cars. The obviously the games, and but musically it was, for me, stylistically, at the same time, Bad Boy was popping.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. Bad Boy was popping. When you're DJing, you have your R&B stuff to warm them up or whatever. Then you get into this, and then when you get to, I don't know, 12 o'clock or 1 or whatever, then you start playing. It was like Splat Black and that type of stuff.
Got real good.
Yeah. But nah, it was different. But I think still being that fam, even though it was in Florida, there was the Chicago crew, there was the Philly crew.
I was about to say that. So like in Atlanta,
it's
a melting pot, especially with all the schools.
Yeah.
There was a chance that you might have 15-minute sets from each of those places.
Yeah.
So I might have, that's why earlier in the conversation, I said a different type of house.
Yeah.
Because I would listen to JIT music in Detroit.
Yeah.
And then we would listen to
Chicago footwork. Yeah.
And Baltimore, Philly, Jersey had a whole different house. You know what I'm saying? We had hot music and percolator, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but then Florida had their own type of house and bass too.
Yeah.
Which they call JIT music as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Those cultures are different. Was it, being that A&M was just that niche of a school?
Yeah.
Did y'all still have that melting pot effect?
A lot of my friends were from all the different, like literally, you'll have the Philly guys with the Timbs.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got the Chicago guys where they were like hustlers, and you know what I'm saying? Yep. So you kind of. Even the Detroit guys, because I'm from Lansing. It's a difference between
Detroit,
Lansing. You know what I'm saying? It's like an hour and a half away, but it's a different vibe, a different type of person.
Yeah, Detroit has that. Like Lansing is different from Flint. Flint's
100%
from Detroit. Detroit's different from
Grand
Rapids.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's different, but there was definitely that melting pot of not only the cultures. The music, like I said, you would definitely have your sections where you're playing your Bad Boys. Then you would play. I'm trying to think of some of the early stuff, man. What
was that, 96, 97?
Yeah, this is 90. I got there in 95.
Okay, 95. One More Chance remix was out. Total was out.
Craig Mack
was out.
No, that was a little earlier. But Total.
It was still that year, yeah.
But I remember seeing Biggie perform. I remember I was on campus when Tupac died, like.
Yeah.
So that was huge.
Yeah.
That was that was still pretty big moments. I remember Hypnotized when it came out. I used to go crazy at the club. You know what I'm saying?
Was JT Money from there, or was he from Atlanta?
No, JT Money's from.
Was he from Tallahassee? Where was he from?
I don't know if he's from. I'm pretty sure he's from Florida though.
Okay.
But they had
Cause that song.
he had another who that?
Yeah.
Who that? Yeah. But it's Poison Clan. Then it's the dancers. They had little dance groups, the Epicureans.
Yeah.
It's a whole experience, and I would say, for any young black kid or whatever, you gotta experience that.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a big part of my upbringing, was just being able to navigate that. It's funny because you see a cat with a white T-shirt, all gold teeth, whatever, and it's like, and maybe talking a little slow or whatever, and you kind of have a perception about them, but they would be like the smartest kids in class, straight A's.
Super.
You know what I'm saying? That used to really trip me out, man. But like that whole experience was interesting. And there was like a part of my career where it was like, like kind of how I got my name and stuff is as I was leaving my third year at FAM. And the reason why I left was because, once again, I wanted to get out of Florida. I was in a 5-year business school at SBA, one of the best business schools in the country at the time. I was like, man, I can't be here for 5 years. I want to figure out how to get to the music. And I found a way to get in-state tuition. So my parents was happy about that. I was like, yo, let me just transfer to state. I'll go for a year or so. But around that time, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And so, right, like I said, right when I sold my turntables and stuff and bought the MP, I was diagnosed with cancer. And they caught it early and stuff like that. But I was going through chemotherapy, and I wanted to come up with my producer name as I'm going through chemotherapy.
Wow.
And so I looked down. And I had Needlz in my arms, and that's how I got the name. Everybody thinks it's like DJing.
Bro, I would have swore you was just DJ Needlz.
Nah. I was just trying to find something that.
That's a hell of a way to deal with a situation like that, bro.
Yeah. So, but
That's
I
awesome.
I went through that, got through it. It was dramatic at the time, but it had like one of the best cure rates and stuff like that. Yeah.
Man, well, congrats on that. I would have swore, man. And just every episode, I find out one thing that's just kind of like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I was on there with the Runners, and the Runners had so many hits. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, what's up with this tag? Like, why is it just breathing? Like, He was basically like, bro, we're the Runners. We're running the game.
Shit.
Breathing. So it's
That's
like,
hard. Yeah.
Every time I'm like,
yeah, that makes sense.
You kidding me right now?
That's hard. Yeah.
Let's switch over to styles. I speak on this a lot. Training wheels.
Mm-hmm.
When we're coming up as producers, we're coming up as singers, writers, we always pick that one person or those two people that are training wheels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you work into your own style.
Yeah.
Training wheels come off, you become one.
Yeah.
Who are the two people, or if there's one, or is there 5 people that kind of you was like, that's the style that I love. These are the things I'm going to study to become myself.
It was DJ Premier.
Me too.
Yeah.
We more like
yeah, yeah. For me, it was Premier. He would always find ways to flip. Like even early Premier, it was different than like early Premier, like Hard to Earn. That Premier was probably my favorite because you could tell after a while he got into a formula. They go with the 4 bars, 8 bars, and had that turnaround. Yep. I was a hip hop head. That's all I really, that's all I listened to. So. Premier, then it went to like the RZA. He was more so inspiring. I don't think I patterned my sound after him or anything like that, but he just gave me that feeling, that soul. He was soul before Kanye was doing soul, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the people I was fans of are like the same age as me because I didn't start until I was 22-ish, like towards the latter part, you know what I mean? Yep. So cats like Knots is one of my favorite. Obviously Bink is damn near my cousin.
Incredible.
Yeah, he's my mother's from Virginia, and our families are close or whatever. But Bink has been an inspiration.
He speaks highly of you.
Yeah, that's my guy. I talked to him yesterday. When I started making beats, though, it was Premiere and all that stuff. But then I got to New York. Mm-hmm. This is like Neptunes. This is. They were going so crazy. I think the Neptunes had an impact on me just as far as like. There was a song they did with LL Cool J called Love You Better. Mm-hmm. and the bass line on that joint, that really changed my whole perspective on like what I wanted to do. It's funny because there's all these.
I think it changed me too.
Just something about that particular song had me want to do everything analog. You know what I'm saying? So I went and bought all kinds of keyboards. I was, nerding out on a lot of stuff that's in here. But yeah, everybody has things that you like. Maybe the Neptunes drums. And I always reference the Neptunes. Mm-hmm. I'm not like Pharrell. Like I really feel like that yin and yang or whatever they had together was just super dope. And those are some of my favorite.
A DJ and a drummer / band.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whatever that was really dope. So yeah, after a while, I think I gravitated towards drums. That's what I became known for early on in my career. You know what I'm saying? Just having hard drums. You know what I mean?
Same way. Yeah, you damn near twins.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a story about Love You Better. I was in Philly. I think it was one of them years I came back home from school, and I was on 52nd Street, and I went into the sneaker store to buy some sneaks, and the song had just came out, or it might not even been out. Cosmic Head played on the radio. All I heard was bombs and hearing it.
Yeah.
I'm trying on the shoe, and I say, yo, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I thought it was somebody from Philly.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear who was rapping first. I just heard him running that, and the chords did something to me because at that point, I was just strictly sampling.
Yeah.
So it's like, I never heard nothing in my life like this. And the drums weren't coming in.
Yeah, because it was just the beginning. The shaker and the descending chords going down. Yeah.
I asked Pharrell one time, I was like, bro, I'm going to tell you this. I don't even know what you're supposed to be saying, but for the whole time listening, I'm like, this is for my newborn. I'm like, you have a newborn kid? Like, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, bro, I'm saying number one.
Yeah, number one. This is for my number one. Yeah.
So that record, it's funny you bring that up because that was one of those things where I took a shift in like, yo, I want to buy my first keyboard.
Yeah.
I want to try chords.
Yeah.
And, unsuccessfully, but I want to try some chords. I want to learn bass lines for a long time. I would go to Barry White and just take one little bass line.
Yes.
Play it around the notes. You know what I'm saying? So that was basically.
So we do have a lot of because that was a big part of my thing because, well, first of all, I don't play keys per se. I had piano lessons when I was younger, but as a DJ, you kind of know how stuff is supposed to sound. Mm-hmm. It'll take me a while to figure it out and stuff like that. But for me, it was like I would buy these keyboards and it would still sound too clean. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah. To your point, I will go find my early setup was my MP for programming and stuff like that, and I had this Kurzweil, which was basically like an ASR. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So my little Kurzweil had a little, some sampling time. I would find a note, play that one note, play chords. So songs like "Let Me In" by Young Buck, it's just one little plug. Dun, 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 dun. Same with Piggy Bank, it's one note on. You know what I'm saying? So it had that texture.
He's stunting right now.
No, but it'll have that texture.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Which was really important. So I think that combination though of having the knowledge of just DJing, having that instant reaction of playing a record, seeing what people like, that, and just also with DJing is just having a kind of history of music and stuff like that. I think
important.
All that stuff is really, really important in making you a better producer.
Let's talk about something people don't talk about as much. My first beat I got $5,000 for.
You got money?
What was your first beat? How much you get paid for?
Money? I got some shoes. I bartered for some shoes, bro. I think, I
cheated though, by the way. It was so I always tell this, my first placement was in Japan, was Slick and Rose, it was a group. But my first US placement was Jeezy and Jay-Z. And I felt like the only reason that I probably got $5,000 is because I negotiated to that. And he was like, Jeezy at that time, we had already had history. We did 2 mixtapes. Trap or Die was the biggest thing out.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, all that money I'll be having to transfer. You can't give me $5,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Get out of him.
Yeah, nigga, I give $5,000. You know what I'm saying? Coach K was there. He was like, bro, listen, Jay-Z about to be on this. I was like, I'm still not taking $500.
Yeah.
They wasn't tripping. It was just more of that space.
You gotta fight for yourself. I think early on, I'm trying to think of my first real placement outside of like me being in school selling to a homie. My first one, you remember Afu Ra?
Of course.
So that was my
City
first.
was my favorite
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. So that was my first placement. I think I got like $1,500, something like that. But that's better than it is now. But for me, the dopest thing about that particular placement, which was one of my first, was that I got to record a D&D. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hearing my legend. I'm going to where my my idol is makes his stuff. So me recording there was dope. But then after that, like my first, or I guess my next big placement was I did the theme for The Basement on BT or something like that.
That's big.
Yeah. So that like stuff like that. My manager though, with my first like Def Jam big Universal check, it was $5,000.
Good.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I got $5,000, and then a couple weeks later I got one for 75, and I thought this shit was I was like, yo, this is what it is, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, it's come to Cannon work day. My mom can point me out of line. I remember coming home to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she knew, but I pulled her to her bedroom. I was like, yo, I want to show you something. I just pull out a check. She was like, keep doing music.
Yeah. Oh man, that's that. Yeah, 100%.
I remember that day like it was. You remember that day?
Yeah.
Pull out a check. She said, "What?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's on.
Yeah. But at the same time though, it was like I got my first check for $5,000. Like I said, then I got another with $7,500. And then I ain't see another check for a whole nother year. You know what I'm saying? So it went from thinking this is really like, I went and I just remember, I was like, yo, I'm gonna have a Super Bowl party. Yeah. I got me a big 27-inch TV at the time. You know what I'm saying? I threw a party, you know what I'm saying? Like bought a new couch. Like I did hella stuff with this money and just thinking it was gonna keep coming. And then a few months later, it's broke. Trying to figure it out.
Well, I feel like we all had to bump our heads at that point, because when you're giving us, I talked about the athletes all the time. We getting an athlete coming straight out of college and he getting a 2-year deal and a $75 million.
Yeah.
What do you expect to do? It's like, man, we worked hard.
Yeah.
I spend it, how to spend it. We never told us. And that's what the segue to this was. In the music business course that you took, how much finance literacy did you learn in those classes to help you think later after you lost the first couple bands or whatever?
I just think that type of stuff you just got to bump your head type stuff as far as the bread. Like those classes that I took, first of all, I was in school, but I wasn't like in school. Like I was hustling, bro. Like I was doing whatever I could to kind of get on, you know what I'm saying? Grad school, the classes were later on in the day, so I would be making beats, early. And the curriculum it wasn't like I said, it wasn't like the Clive Davis school where they had a whole bunch of, it was early. Yeah. This was 2000, I think. So a lot of it was like real basic stuff that you can learn out of the Donald Passman book. They definitely didn't lean on how to, work your finances at the time, which I think, to me, that should be a prerequisite in high school. That should be taught.
I hope it is right now.
It's not. It really should. Like finances and investing and stuff like that. That should be mandatory for kids. Anyway,
when you came out the placement, normally the first thing that happens when you have such a big record is they say you should get a pub deal.
Yeah.
Was that something that management brought up, or did you even do a pub deal?
Yeah. No, I did a pub deal once I caught. So it really wasn't a thing until I caught on with the G-Unit type of stuff. When I started working with G-Unit, and they were huge at the time, you know what I'm saying? So the numbers were a lot bigger. All their albums was going platinum and stuff like that. And then back then, you could live off of, I was like the king of like album cuts, early on. I did catch a couple singles, but I always would have an album cut. Now I had my first child, and that really kind of sped things up as far as really needing some bread. So I definitely got a pub deal, but kind of, once again, kind of did too much in the sense where my wife and I were really entrepreneurial. We're really like, we're going to start a business. We're going to build a house. We're going to do all these different things, which were great, but we kind of do too much sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But so the pub deal, it was great. Obviously the most money I ever had. And at the time, $5,000, manager $5,000 and $7,500 is different than, like, I think my first pub deal was like $300 or something like that. And you just gotta learn, man. Like you never stop learning, bro. You gotta bump your head sometimes, and you never really stop learning. You know, some of these things. I mean, you get smarter and surround yourself with different people, but yeah, I don't want to say it was pushed on me. I just think
You just
did it. You know what I mean? Like my pops was like, you know, it's never a wrong decision. You just make it and stick with it, and like you just live with whatever decision you make and just keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just always the person that was a hustler. Like, you know, when I was little, I would shovel cars, I'd wash cars, I'd come throw money, run back out. So seeing a pub deal, seeing those things, it was like,
It wasn't a big.
I was like, man, I need the money. I'm a hustler.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I need to do this, whatever the situation was at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I had a girlfriend, I wanted to do nice things.
Yeah.
I wanted to do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we moved into a space where whatever was presented, I negotiated up.
Yeah.
And I grabbed it.
Yeah. It just kept. Well, see, me too. Like, you know, and that's kind of the thing. Like, that's the thing. Obviously, they'll keep you in with the MDRCs. You know, back then.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. The penny rate.
Yeah, the penny rates, all that stuff, bro. Like they'll keep you locked in. So I mean, I'm still with Universal. I'm in an admin deal now. Mm-hmm. But you know, when I caught one of my bigger records, they couldn't. It's almost like they couldn't pay me enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was outperforming, but they would just keep throwing me money, and keep me in this deal longer until I smartened up and obviously, you know, got like an admin deal and down the road. But yeah, man, if you really, really think about it, you know, these you wouldn't know when you're a kid when you're coming up, but these just high interest loans, the money's coming your way.
Facts.
You just gotta wait it out and have somebody to collect it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's advantages of, you know, being signed to a publishing company.
Putting you in certain spaces.
Putting you in certain spaces, the sync team and stuff like that. I was on the phone with our sync team earlier, and that's a great source of, you know, income opportunity. So
let's circle back real quick before we jump into the actual remake. You had your first child at what age?
I was just talking about that. My wife was 24. I was 26.
Okay. So coming up, and we don't talk about this a lot, a lot of people, especially in that era, not this era, era is like, you have a baby, your career is over. Mm-hmm. Did you once be like, oh, snap? Or did you was like, yo, I got to work extra hard? Because I know there's people like Eminem had his child very early. Yeah. A lot of people had kids in that era. Yeah. They always push forward. But for a long time, it was like, once you have a kid or you got tats on your neck, it's over for you. You can't do nothing. Yeah. How hard was that for you?
It's hard, but, you know, I feel like I grew up in the Huxtables. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
All I knew was
family help.
Family, two-parent household, and providing, you know, I was middle class, you know, and so when I had my first child, it was definitely a shock, you know, but it happened for a reason, and God put, like, it's crazy because like my daughter now, she goes to Berkeley in Boston.
Wow. She's surpassed you.
She goes crazy over DJ, and guess what she's DJing? She does footwork and a whole bunch of club music, and she goes nuts. Shout out to Brad Attack. Y'all follow Brad Attack?
Yeah, she's coming back.
Yeah, but it's crazy, but it just definitely made me go harder, but it actually changed my career path in the sense of what type of music, you know, I was making. So early in my career, it was all hard, dark rap music, right?
Yep.
And then if you follow my career, it starts going into like R&B and pop and stuff like that. And the reason being is because I didn't like being out late with the rappers trying to get the placement. You know what I'm saying? When you do R&B, you can work with a songwriter. Mm-hmm. You could kind of
3-4 hours.
Yeah, you can kind of design. So like that's why I was just thinking, going back and trying to figure this record out. I was like, this was like the start of the end of my kind of like doing rap beats like that, and I love it. That's what kills me, because I would love to just do, you know, hip hop or rap. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there was a time where I just had to really be, and I think my whole career. That's why I've never been like super on the scene, super, you know what I mean? I've always been very strategic on how I get my placements, what I shoot for, what's the most bang for the buck. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Which projects to work on instead of just out all the time, because I have a family. You know what I'm saying? And then my second child is autistic. And that made it even harder, you know what I'm saying? So it's not very easy for me to just be gone, especially late hours, because she wakes up 4:30 in the morning every morning, like late Saturday, Sunday. This is just, you know what I'm saying? So that's a lot that comes with that. But I don't regret any of that. Like my middle child, the one that's autistic, Michaela, she's come to find out she's brilliant. She's a brilliant human being. She actually has we have a documentary about her on Netflix.
Nice.
And it was shortlisted for the Oscars or whatever. But it's called.
I
was just about to look in the camera. Yeah, y'all check out Michaela's Voice on Netflix. It's a 24-minute documentary about my daughter and our family.
That's a blessing, bro.
It should change your perspective on how you look on special needs kids. And come to find out, like I said, my daughter's smarter than me, knows all kinds of So check that out. But that really shaped my career, my music career. You know what I mean? It's definitely like, I know I got to be at home, so I have to work within those, I don't want to say constraints, but just work within that.
What's most important.
Yeah. And I always, I could never not be there.
That's right.
So.
That's right. So I'm going to tell you a little bit. We don't say flowers here. Well, at least I don't say flowers. I say trophies. I did a short stint at Def Jam. The way it was built up is we always didn't want one person to take the blame for one project. Right? So in that run where we were, it was me, No ID, Sycamore.
Yep.
The interns, Noah Preston, which came in very early. Taz.
Yep.
We were all sharing projects. One of the projects, well, two of the projects that me and Sycamore shared was Lil Durk and Jeremiah. Right? The Jeremiah record you did.
Yeah. Shout out to my dog Donut, me and Donut.
Shout out to Donut. Was one of the craziest records. That was the Love You Better for that time period for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh shit, a hip hop motherfucker that did this.
Different, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for maybe 7 months, I walked around with the mumble version of that record.
Or you had the early version.
So when I was moving around, me, I was the connector. I always had Drake on the line. Big Sean on the line. It was something like, yo, does it need something? Why is he still in mumble state on this record?
Yeah.
And he hasn't figured it out.
Yeah.
But we moved around. I was so excited. I played people the record. You know how we are. They're like, it's not mixed yet.
Yeah.
It's just a mumble version.
Yeah.
But me and Sycamore, we basically moved it around, and just that album was super special for Jeremiah because he had 3, maybe 4 hit records. Number 1.
Don't tell him playing.
Your joint was charting crazy.
Yeah.
That was one of those special records for me in my career too, because I got a chance to do that alongside the YG, alongside the Jeezy at that time.
I know that, bro.
And that's what I'm saying. That trophy, that's the Love You Better in that time.
I appreciate that, man.
That was to see somebody in hip hop.
Yeah.
Get there, it's like it's a different story.
Yeah, it's producing like R&B and pop, it's a lot more collaboration. Well, nowadays they collaborate, but most of my bigger records were collaborations. The common denominator is me, obviously, but shout out to, like I said, my dog Donut. Yeah. We did P&B Rock, Selfish, that We record, did a few more, but then when it got into like the Bruno record, there's another collaboration, and I think that
Stuntastic.
Yeah. No, I just want to, give props to, my dog Cassius, my dog Donut, just people that I've collaborated over the years. Like, I hate when cats come up here, or not here, I'm just saying in general, and take credit for, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but nah, man, I love that record, man. Another thing I noticed about my bigger records, they're all love songs. So, We love song, basically. Selfish, love song.
Yeah, the family.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's only right.
Well, love is the universal language. Like,
right.
and I'm, when I'm in with songwriters or artists, like, I'm always pushing them to a love song, or to write something that it's just easy. It's easy to relate to, and it's across genres, cultures. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I appreciate that. That's definitely one of my favorite records.
Yeah, that record is incredible.
Yeah.
Going In. How did we get here?
Bro. All right, so I'm Going In was after the whole 50 Cent wave, or kind of while 50 was still popping. The South was blowing up. Like, T.I. was going crazy, and
This when you made your move back to the South?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. As we're driving to Atlanta from New York with all our stuff in the car, I find out that my mortgage broker was a scammer. Oh. So it's ill.
Hey,
so
listen, we're gonna have to do it tomorrow. Documentary. Needlz.
Yo, it's
man went through some shit.
Yeah, no, but life is like that, man. But it really builds you. But it was ill because we're thinking we're driving to go move into a house.
Wow.
We literally drive. We have to drive past the house and keep going to Florida and stay with her mom to like figure out what the hell is going on. Mm-hmm. We end up finding our way back to Atlanta, and in New York I had a studio. I had a whole basement and all this stuff. To me being in this house where my studio was literally the size of this credenza, like it was super small, right? I went from having a whole bunch of analog gear to just a Novation, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm Going In was one of the first records I did, and for me it was my interpretation of my version of a Southern beat, just because that was the first time I really used like an 808. You know what I'm saying? Because before it was hard kicks and hard drums and stuff like that. So and really the story about it is I was going to Hot Beats working with randomly Archie Eversole, which is a good dude, rest in peace. Rest in peace. And I just was going down there. My manager at the time, shout out to Delaney, he was like, yo, Lil Wayne is, his man is about to, be a Hot Beats. I need you to drop a CD off or whatever, a beat CD off. So I go down there with my CD, my Sharpie runs out. So I basically handed dude a blank, like a CD with fire ass beats, right? With no name. It wasn't legible or whatever, right? So about a couple weeks later, man, all these records started getting leaked on the internet. And it wasn't like records being leaked back then wasn't cool. Like it wasn't, it's like I just wasted beats or whatever. Like, so Wayne ended up doing like, I don't know, like 5 songs on stuff off that beat CD. And one of them kind of just stuck and they just kept playing it. And then Drake jumped on it. Or Drake was on it and Wayne, and then Jeezy jumped on it. And it just started going crazy. And it just it felt like it went from just some, I guess it went viral or whatever, however.
It definitely
It definitely viral. But it wasn't like, I worked with Wayne at the time or worked with Drake or anything like that. However, I did meet Drake at Hot Beats around that same time as well. And yeah, man, but this was just me being me. I always wanted to incorporate, whether I did incorporate synths or 808s and stuff like that, I always wanted to have the hard drums. Mm-hmm. I always, even though I didn't have a tag or anything like that.
So the leaking of the songs led you to them to find you, or you saying, yo, that's me?
Yeah, nah, let's see how it happened. I think my guy reached out to them and let them know. I mean, we kind of let the record rock for a while because it started taking off.
Yeah.
And eventually, I think they found out somehow. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They found out somehow, and we had a little bit of leverage because they put the record out, whatever.
Of course.
We worked it out, but it was like last minute before they were turning in the So Far Gone project. Like they put it in stores or whatever, so it was a different version, and they put that record on there. And the thing about the record is, I never got a chance to mix it. So like what you hear is my 2-track. That's an off the beat CD or whatever. It wasn't mixed. Yeah, that's it. So producers just, if you putting stuff out there, man, mix it like it's going out, because you never, and a lot of times artists fall in love with the original mix anyway.
Sure, demo-itis.
Yes. It's still probably one of my favorite records, one of my favorite beats. This is my introduction to Atlanta, really. You know what I'm saying? Like my first Atlanta joint. So
it's the perfect way to get into the remake of it.
The remake.
My first thing I'm gonna say, bro, why the MPC 61? They got a live too.
Yeah,
2500.
I've had them all.
What makes you think this is the best thing for you right now?
It's all in one. It's simple.
It reminds me of the ASR. I kicked off the ASR, so
it looks like an ASR.
It's all in one.
Yeah, like, I started on the MP. There was a time, I actually did this beat in Logic. I was in Logic for about 2 years. And then it just, the thing I like about the MP is that you can make an idea on one sequence, and then you get tired of the idea, you could just switch sequences and you just make a whole nother beat.
Right.
So a lot of times you go to some of my programs, I got like 20 beats on one little thing. And I like to have multiple canvases.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'm painting here, I'm stuck,
Yeah.
go here. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I like to work. The technology, they obviously went from this, you know, the hardware to like this hybrid setup.
Yeah. I just know we're traveling, so it's like
Yeah.
you're traveling and doing things.
Oh no, I
So,
have the live too, but what's the smaller, the one?
Oh, the one.
I have
Okay,
the one.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
We got a tradition of dissing Logic here because I was on Logic. It gave me a lot of hits, but I would never credit it
yeah.
because I had to do too much fucking coloring.
Yeah.
Do all this shit. You know what I'm saying? But everybody that came on this joint was like, yo, fuck Logic.
Yeah.
So Logic, you got to change our minds. Apple, you got to change our minds about. He hasn't said anything.
Like you said,
It might be under contract.
I got my Bruno record was on that. This record was on Logic. We got records on there.
So shit.
So maybe
They gave him a stunt talent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, this just feels more like music.
Yeah, it's creative.
It's tangible.
Signature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gives you more, sometimes we don't like to quantize and do certain things. So this is like more of a natural fit.
Yeah, it's just programming, just looking at a computer, and I don't know, just, this just feels a little more.
I got you. I'm going in. What was your first step?
This was around the time, this is in 2009-ish or something like that. Something like that. I was into VSTs like everybody else, and there was this one VST, Vanguard. That a majority of the sounds from I'm Goin In are from Vanguard or whatever. And, you just scroll through, see what's what. This was a particular art or whatever, and I would just be messing around, but then I'd be playing in different octaves. Let me see. And then what's funny is what I was going back to like figure out how I did it is, I don't really play keys, but I always seem to go to the same key for all my stuff. So it's funny. It's funny. I was like, oh, this is the same thing I always did.
It's the simplest thing.
Yeah. So it really started, this beat and a majority of my beats, because I've seen some of your things in the past. You drum first or whatever. The majority of my beats are like, whether it's a sample first, it's never the drums first, ironically. So
I'm arguably using this because most of us have our own rhythm.
Yeah.
Being a DJ, I played at a certain tempo.
Mm.
When you hear things, is it because of your pulse or you're saying, yo, the beat I'm trying to make at this point is going to be 90 beats per minute? I never had a tempo in mind because, again, I just knew what I'm going to play in the club.
Yeah. I think that's a great question, man. There's a lot of stuff that I think about now that I wouldn't, obviously, that I didn't back then. I was very free-flowing, bro.
Good.
You know what I mean? That's the thing I miss about making music in general is, there was a time when you were just literally just trying to be creative. You weren't thinking at the end result. You were just being like in the moment. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of my earlier stuff, it sounds, in my opinion, it sounds a little more unique because it's me kind of figuring out myself.
Yep. Splashing paint.
Yeah. Just seeing what's what. And this was just a sound that I thought was cool.
But you say you were trying to make your version of a South beat. So
maybe I think maybe a milli. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Kind of like
tempo
wise. And shout out to Bangladesh, man. I'm a big fan of Bangladesh. There's so many really, really dope producers out here. But so it started with this.
I know the recreation is gonna take a certain mind to remember.
Yeah. Nah, I try to prepare.
Yeah.
I was up last night like, oh, they can't see me messing up. You know what I'm saying? But so this how the whole thing started was just this loop. See, look.
No. It's part of it. You gotta remember.
Yeah, you gotta remember. All right, here we go.
You good?
So it was like.
Could have fooled me. I thought you played the keys.
Nah, bro, no.
I never had that.
Yeah, I was me last night. Nah, no, but so after that was just it was like a little hi-hat going, so let me make sure. So funny going through these things like I don't even know why I would do that pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like why? Like
flowing. You say it.
Like why would I do the hi-hat like that? I made that open. So then even this clap was weird to me.
And is this a drum kit that you made, or is it something you just collected pieces?
I got so many drums. It was just okay. I think for me, switching from the MP, the hardware version, to like software, you know, with battery.
Yep.
But then you see all these different programs. You know, it's just so many drums that I had to like narrow them down. I used to make these programs that like were my favorite 128 sounds. So I you know what I'm saying?
Something I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Still using
every time.
1,000 signs.
Yeah.
I'm just all over the place.
Yeah. So I mean, as I'm doing this, it's like so many little weird things that I did. So I was like a little laser sound. I had no idea why I would. Let's see. So we had that going. Oh, okay. So then the lead, once again, this is Vanguard. So yeah, so something like it. Yeah. See, catch that part. All right, so the reason why I gotta get this perfect, this part, is because I do a lot of layering. So I'll take the same melody or whatever, and then I'll just copy it to another sound or whatever. Okay, yeah. So I'll just take this, copy that one to track 6 or whatever, and then change the sound. So this was like another, once again, it was
Vanguard.
That
was your go-to? You didn't use nothing else?
Yeah, I mean, there was stuff like Pro 53.
Yeah, I mean,
this is back then.
Logic had arguably, while I'm dissing them, they had arguably some of the best plugins
factory drums,
period.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm always asking, like, even some of the Bit Crusher and all those are like things that some of them are unbeatable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and that's I mean, whatever DAW you use, like really get to know the factory. Yeah. The factory things. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So it's a similar sound, just layered. Let's see, this was just to make it a little bigger. Then I think after that, I did the same thing with the sub too. So I think that's on 7, probably 8 or whatever, right? So then I just took that. I used I've been using the same sub.
Was that the same sub on the Jeremiah record?
Yep.
How about Piggy Bank?
It wasn't out then.
Okay.
Yeah, nah, but yeah, this whatever has been my sub for
still to this day.
Like why switch it, bro? I'm gonna see what octave it was. Probably lower. Let's see. Yeah, it's too low. Yeah, it was probably this low. So we got here. I think I'm missing. Let's go here. There's one other little random sound. Something like this.
Is that emulating a car race kind?
Kind of feels like yeah. That's where I took from it.
It's dope.
I think it was like that. You should do it. Something along them lines, right? So then we're there with it. This is my first time me using, this is 808.
So that first time you was like, oh man, I don't want to mess this up.
Yeah. I just wanted to create some kind of syncopation or whatever. So no straight. So a lot of times, you know, when you're trying to find like a low note or whatever, you go high.
Yeah, I mean, my first experience with the 808, I just went straight down the line. Some of them was off key, but
yeah.
it was just on the one.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite experimenting with keys yet. I just
just on the one, just
yeah.
get us some bottom or whatever. So what did I do for this? And this, let's see what this. So what I did for the second half was I just lowered the octave on the second half of it.
Okay. I'm noticing it's not too much quantizing. Is all character with you, or?
Yeah, I don't really. No, I mean I really stay in 1/16 for a lot of my stuff. I guess the only thing I do is like shift timing. I don't really use swing per se. I just nudge the music. Yeah, move the music to the right a little bit.
Gotcha.
So. On the second half, got the lower end. And when I make stuff, a lot of times I just try to like add as much stuff as possible until it gets annoying. You know what I'm saying? And then it starts subtracting.
What made you go to a lower note? I know most people like to do just their bar loops.
Yeah.
Especially us in hip hop, we go 8, 16. We really don't change too much unless it's a turnaround coming from that, going back to the first bar.
Yeah. I think
this is a sequencing question I'm asking. Like, how do you get to the point where you're sequencing as you're making it?
So, you know, obviously with the MP, sequencing is not the best out here. You know what I'm saying? The way I do it, obviously, I'll make one 4-bar, 8-bar sequence, copy it, and kind of go from there. All of these end up going into Pro Tools. Mm-hmm. You know, even when I was even when I was first started out, like I had a chance to get what do you call it, like a Tascam or one of those Yamaha, whatever.
Yeah, the 4-track.
Yeah, or a Digi-01. I had like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I had some like student loan money and I had to make a choice, and I went with the Pro Tools. So I learned Pro Tools early, and I throw all this stuff in Pro Tools, and that's really where I make all my changes and sequences. This is just, even to this day, like I typically work with an engineer. I just keep it super raw. I don't do too much, and then I just toss the engineer and sequence it with him. So then what did I do? So that's like the base of the beat. One thing about that, to your point about the progression, one thing that used to bother me about the song is they would let the first part, this part, Drake would just stay on a high. I'm like, yo, why? It wasn't supposed to loop like that. It was supposed to go down, yo. Why are y'all? But it came out perfect. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But that bothered me when I first heard the record. Like, yo, stop looping this part. It's supposed to, instead of being a 2-bar progression. So I would take this, probably copy the sequence. And so now I'm on this joint. I would probably take a lot of stuff out. And really get back to kind of like the main stuff in there. I think this was probably on there. So, what happened to, let's see. Oh, Flavor Flicker's delayed. I don't think I had the clap in there with it. But yeah. And then once I got it in Pro Tools, I added like a little slap delay to it. But and it just comes down to this. I always gotta have something
that's obnoxious kick.
Yeah, just something like in your face.
Facts.
Then I think I added like yeah, so and then the only thing that was like I forgot about is I had like this random sleigh bell in there.
I don't even think I heard that.
Just being, I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Literally, it was just, I just liked the actual sound and just wanted to incorporate it. But really, maybe turning down a little bit. That's literally the gist of the beat. Let me see if I can, if it cooperates with me.
I mean, for many years, this was a party starter for real. When I was DJing, I was doing these big clubs, Colony and LA. I was doing clubs in New York.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of times that the open up DJ either knew you was coming on, he was like scared, he was playing stuff.
What was your strategy though? Because I talked to my daughter about this. Like, would you come in and just play from the rip? If you coming on at like 12 o'clock or whatever, are you trying to go crazy, or are you still building them up to?
So I do build.
Yeah.
But one of the things is, I always had this trick. Like, people know me for being able to talk in the club.
See, that's
so what I started with was, so if I had a 12 o'clock set and this song was coming on, I would play the beginning, and right as he says, yes, sir, I cut it off. Like, hold on, we can't get there just too quickly.
Yeah. Like,
we gotta go here first. And then we'll go to something. And they're like, oh, but then now my set is set up to go.
Yeah.
So, and then I'll come back to that 4 or 5 songs in.
That's
like,
dope.
Come on, you got your drinks in your system already?
Yeah.
Let's go there now.
Is that part of DJing, that showmanship, that is so important? You know what I'm saying? It's like old school DJing type shit.
It's important for identity.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you're trying to make a name for yourself, you want to have that type. At the time when I just told you that little spill I would have did, I was already seasoned.
Yeah.
I already had a following. In the early days, so let's go for Visions in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Visions was Alex's like arguably best parties, the BMF era, all those eras. I would open up for Mars and all the likes of these DJs, even SNS, come down from New York and DJ. I would go, they had a glass room. In that glass room, it was like, if you made a set and a name for yourself, people took a break from the big room to come to the glass room.
Yeah.
Came to the glass room, I was playing B-sides, I was playing hits, I was doing it my way.
Yeah.
And I built my room as, we come into the club to just go to the glass room. There's 3,000 people in that club.
Yeah.
And you'll see anybody from Shaq to Jamie Foxx to Sierra.
Yeah.
And it was like, sometimes people were sweating. It's like, y'all need a break. And they would stay in the glass room from 2 to 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that you're asking, just like, you're building a name. Like, until your daughter's response is like, make sure you're doing something where they be like, it's this person right here that does this.
And unique.
Every time I want to build up like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I was trying to do, because I was fighting against drama. I was fighting against trauma. I was fighting against every DJ that came to Atlanta that was taking off. Like, Kid Capri would come in and go crazy. Yeah. And it's like, bro, how do I compete? Yeah. You know what I mean? So that was my strategy.
Find your thing.
This is one of them records I would use, because I couldn't just jump into the Jay-Z records, LE.
Yeah.
But these is one of them joints, like, okay.
What was crazy about this, like, they were, the record was going up, and then I think they're going to shoot a video, and then Drake, like, tore his Achilles, or tore his...
Remember that?
Yeah, so they didn't shoot the video, And then another record came about that was similar in the sense that it was like Drake, Eminem,
Yep.
and that kind of Kanye, and I feel like that record kind of shut this record down a little bit. I mean, obviously it's done its own
Well, I'll
thing.
tell you one thing you probably don't know about this record. This is parallel to my first record. Well, my second record, Canon, is that every artist that I wanted to work with rapped on that beat. This is still to this day one of those records that everybody freestyles on.
That's dope.
And that's what makes it a hip hop classic in its own right. So you do have that under
That's
your belt.
dope. Yeah,
You didn't
I
know
appreciate that. Yeah, I
People
appreciate
ask
that.
for that beat. Like, put that on. I'm about to run that. Anybody you think of, Joel Santana, Cameron.
That's dope.
I think the only person that didn't do it was Jay-Z. But everybody else rapped on the beat. This was a staple for this era for them people to rap on in the freestyle era. So as long as you know that now.
Nah, I appreciate that, man. It's like, as a producer, you kind of want to have a strip club record. You know what I'm saying? You want to have, your classic moments. You definitely want to have one of those ones that everybody raps. I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Because, again, I did satellite radio. We was on Eminem's joint for 15 years, and we will always have every artist from upcoming to old come through.
Yeah.
A lot of people picked What We Do Is Wrong,
which
was a monster.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
And if they were trying to build a Rolodex with me, they'd be like, put on Canon. But I felt like they didn't want to do it because everybody already did it.
Yeah.
But this is a tempo, again, that was like a Go DJ or a Millie that everybody could get off on without us a lot of things. And what's important about this is you left enough space for the artists.
Yeah.
And we don't do that a lot as producers, as you talked about. You piled it up.
Yeah, it's that's something that's definitely learned. I mean, even now though, because you want to as you're making this music, you want to stand out and you want to do something creatively. But yeah, I've learned, if you go back and get an opportunity to listen to the instrumentals, like Neptunes stuff early, I mean, it was not a lot of sounds, but the sounds that they chose were just quality ones, you know what I'm saying? And having space for artists, you'd be surprised how much a vocal takes up in the soundscape. But,
let's talk about the new ventures you have.
Yeah, so I've been working on my studio. It's called Kitchen.
That's a fire ass name.
I appreciate it.
I thought of that.
No, it's called.
Cook them up in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's called Kitchen. It's KCHN. It's been 3 years me working on one space.
Dope.
And I'm towards the end. It's right in the heart of the city. It's near Pond City Market. But for me, it's gonna be the hub of everything I got going on. I feel like over the course of the years, I've figured out that my niche is really working with new artists.
Yep.
It's my favorite because I really get a chance to really produce and really walk them through the process and stuff like that. So even, like I said, a lot of the records that are hits or whatever was when I keep bringing out some of these records, like the Bruno records, when it was his first record.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Early first album, Cardi B, like everybody's first, a lot of first. So yeah, so it's like that's my thing. A lot of labels call me to work with new artists, and I think I get the most enjoyment about that. So it's gonna be a private studio, but it's gonna be something where it's gonna be also content driven, and it's really gonna get not necessarily into the weeds, but this is really, really special what you got here. It's different in the sense where a lot of streamers are doing it now where they're cooking up and they're doing stuff. But there's a whole another aspect to this whole thing. Because to be honest with you, producing it's kind of easy now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
especially with all the collab.
Yeah, it's a loop, drum. There's magic, especially in the earlier stuff when you can see what people spent time in. But now for me, I get more a kick out of like, I need to make sure this songwriter is writing the right song for this artist. And is he being, you know what I'm saying? Like reading the room and seeing how people work together and like people seeing obviously a song coming together from beginning to the end, which is it could be a long process. It's not always like, rap song, how they do it now. They just freestyle on the mic. That type of stuff, like R&B, pop. It's very, for me, I like structure. I have my certain things that I like that I like to highlight. And so there's gonna be that. There's gonna be a lot of different content, but I'm excited about that. I still always have something out, something cooking.
What new artists have you worked with? I know I saw you work with Nicole Buss. I was a big fan of hers earlier.
Yeah.
I heard one record where she flipped the Wu-Tang
Wu-Tang.
sample.
Yeah. That project for me was dope. That was the first time I got a chance to executive produce a project. I discovered her in Amsterdam and was posting some stuff on IG, and Orlando called me when he was at Rock Nation. And, but that whole project, if you go listen to that, that was basically me just showing love to the music I grew up on. So it's all like 90s flips or whatever. So that was a project I'm still very proud of that. But this is an artist on QC named EJ. Got his next single that's really dope. EJ's fire. I love the fact that, if you look at him, you think he a rapper or something, but he comes up with this crazy voice. So EJ, that record's coming out. Just did a Haley Bailey record that came out.
How about Queen Naja?
I haven't worked with her in a minute.
She spoke of you one time.
Yeah.
She came to Atlanta and we were talking about people that are creating in front, and you were one of the people.
Yeah, nah, she's really dope. I think I worked with her maybe the last year, but for me, it's I have my own artist, Sherry Silver, where she's in a more like pop space.
Nice.
Stephon Benz, like babies in the industry. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard though, because they're at a certain points in their career where, sometimes you need like a little bit of a machine to get the stuff going, but it's the most fulfilling work to work on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard for me to really stick in one genre.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Because I love different types of stuff.
How about producers and writers? Do you have anybody that you're working with?
Not really. I mean, I work with my crew. Like my main writer is this guy named Jerome. He's like a collaborator. We're all like,
that's right.
We're all like friends. He's not like under me or anything like that. The whole having people under me stuff it's like, I've always kind of shied away from it because it's just the responsibility. Like I got 3 kids at home. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to feel. I mean, it's smart business wise, obviously.
I mean, I did it. I've jumped out of it. It's just, again, like you said, the responsibility of it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be the collaborator.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's where I am in life in general. Like I'm not really looking to hire people per se. I really want to partner with people and work with people that have experience, bring stuff to the table, and just cool people, man. I'm not really into people with egos and all that stuff. Like I'm at a point in my career where I'm excited to bring something new, bring a different insight. I've never been too hot, never been too cold. I've always been because people know of me, but they don't know. A lot of people ain't even see my face.
Yeah, it's hills and valleys in the game.
Yeah.
But if you keep,
So, but I'm excited for a big year. Like I said, I'm really excited about the studio because it's the hub for a ton of content and a ton of music, man. We dropping like every week type shit.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna see the song being made on Monday, Tuesday, and the shit's coming out on Friday.
Oh, that's fire.
Like nonstop.
So you got the Netflix film documentary.
Yes, Michaela's voice. Yep.
You got the soon-to-be superstar DJs.
Yeah, Brad Attack. You know what I mean?
The decorated list of hits.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, I mean, for me though, I think I really want to introduce more like music from Atlanta that's not
Atlanta.
Yeah. You said it perfectly.
I got you.
You said that shit perfect.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really want to kind of break that Atlanta is one thing.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
It's different looks.
Bro, like
Yeah.
I said, my daughter, and I can keep talking about her because I'm so excited about her career, but she spins at these clubs and you would be, they play just straight juke club house. I'm like, this is Atlanta.
It's a whole different vibe.
It's a whole different vibe, and I love it. And they dance and they sweating their asses off. You know what I'm saying? They're not popping bottles and chilling. Like they're going hard. You know what I'm saying? So like getting back to that essence of having fun. But for me, it's just introducing just different vibes from where I'm from and just being really hands-on with new artists and stuff.
I'm almost certain that your phone's gonna ring after this episode. But
Right.
Tell people where they can find you.
Man, you can follow me. Just follow me on Instagram. It's produced by Needlz, Prodby Needlz. You'll start to see coming soon. A lot more stuff about the studio. You know, if you need something, holler at my manager Ikram.
Hey,
You'll see,
Ikram.
yeah, Ikram. You gonna see her at on my page. But yeah, man, I'm excited for what this year has in store, man. And I appreciate you having me come through.
Thanks for coming,
Oh, bro.
It's great.
Yes, sir.
Another hit, the most decorated Needlz, Don Cannon. This is BackTrak, baby.
Let's go.